I still love it. I still love it.
Man, what that was 2024, bro. We gotta re-up redo that
Oh
one.
man, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know
Hey,
what I'm
fair
saying?
enough.
So I likes it, but we can look at 2030, see what's
Yeah,
good.
2030. See what's up. I love it, man. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, I am one of your hosts, Zion Givens. I go by Z out here in the community, and to the right of me, we got
Hey, Jay Gibbs, you know what I'm saying? And I got a new name, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Not that one we'll be riding with over here with these peoples, but we'll let them know. Let them know. Yeah, man, 2026. What's good? What
man.
you got, man? What you got going? I think you got some updates. Some
Oh
people
yeah.
may not be following you, but go ahead.
Yeah. If you're just strictly following Up to It in Up to It Parenting Podcast, you probably don't know what's going on. But if you are following the Up to It Parenting Podcast and you follow me personally, then you know what's going on. So we recently got, not recently. Now this is we're on a month 8.
Well, actually, you know what? They may
What?
not even know, because I don't know if we talked about it. What happened before then in July?
Right. Okay. Cool. Let's walk back a little bit. Go
Yeah,
down memory lane. So in July 24th, me and my wife ended up getting my fiance ended up getting married. So there's that. Now we're married. That was a fun. We did it out in San Diego on the beach. Family was there, and I don't know if you can speak to it, Dad, but we had a good time. I think we all.
No, it was a good time. It was a good time. Family, friends, nice weather. Definitely compared to Arizona, because Arizona was hot.
Right. It was good. It was good to get that break real quick.
Yeah, get out near the water, catch a breeze or two. So yeah. So then it was short and sweet.
Short and sweet, to the point. Then we got news in August that we were expecting a baby. And to our surprise, after I think in September, our first ultrasound or second ultrasound, we found out it wasn't a baby, but rather babies. So we have twins on the way. Right. I got the upgraded title to dad now. It's funny because this podcast started as a father and son podcast, and now I will be not be able to sit here as a son and as a future father, as expected father. So we're super pumped up. Like I said, we're on month 8 now, and we're due end of March, beginning of April, and we're couldn't be more excited for that and to give my dad, the upgraded title. To drum roll, please, everybody. Drum roll, please. What you going by, Pop?
So I'm still experimenting. So y'all can write in and let me know, but I'm going with Papa Mall or Pop Mall, because y'all know me as Jay Give. My name is Jamal, but people call me Mall. Some call me El Presidente. Some call me Prez. But for my little dudes, going with Papa Mall or Pop Mall. So
you brought up a good point too. They don't even know that. Oh, they're boys. Yeah. So we have 2 boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're twins and they're fraternal. So. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So just so y'all know, you know what I'm saying? So this is all new to us. Everybody involved. Definitely Zion has a nephew. Actually, they don't know about that. Hey.
Yeah. So my uncle. I'm an uncle now. Was an uncle in September. So man, this family is expanding rapidly, and we got friends that are pregnant.
And the other thing to let people know, because again, we probably didn't share this last year, but for a couple of years now, you've been also a godfather.
Yeah, I've been a godfather. Been a Nino.
Yeah. So he been running around with these littles, you know what I'm saying, making it happen and whatnot, and snatching them up and giving them hugs and throwing them around a little bit.
Definitely a lot of it, actually. But it's been fun, and I can't wait to have our own set, which is great. And yeah, we'll probably do a whole podcast episode on that. With time, I say I'll wind down, but I'll be ramping up with father duties, and hopefully we can have a podcast on what that's like being a young father. I say young father, but a youngish father, and with twins. I think that's a unique perspective. So let us know if that's something that you want to hear about, see about, because it's our first time in our family having twins like this. So it's going to be our first go around doing that. So yeah, super pumped for that. And I got my own channel going on that's strictly about fatherhood and all that good stuff at Given Squared. You can check that out on Instagram. That's where I post all. I have like building the crib and getting the car seats in the car and all that stuff, kind of stuff you want to keep up on that fatherhood tip.
Trying to learn exactly so he can share with that experience and maybe tap in. I know you've been following some other people with twins, so you can get a general idea of kind of what that's like. So my man's putting in work as far as research and just trying to see and understand what it's all about. I'm watching from the sidelines, like, what you learning? What you got? Okay, cool. That's different. That's different. So it's gonna be good times. It's gonna be good times, most definitely.
Yeah, man, we can do a whole podcast episode on that, but I don't want to keep. We got to get into the meat of this conversation. But before we're there, we got more updates to give you
More
guys,
updates.
and they're all great news. We got great news. It's only good news on this side. And the second one that follows up is that we have now entered in a partnership with the organization called Vive 18,
518.
VIVE 18. If you are
518.
an Espanol speaker, you know it's Vive 18. You know what I'm saying? So that is a substance use prevention organization that now also focuses on mental health, and we're bringing all of our youth programming and initiatives underneath the Vive 18 umbrella. And if you haven't checked out their profile and their stuff, man, you got to go check them out. Jake White is the co-founder and CEO of Vive 18, and his wife is also part of the team. And man, it just made sense to bring mental health underneath that umbrella and to help with the work that they're already doing out here nationally. So if you're looking for anything, if you want our programming, our up to it programming, you can go to vive18.com and book any speaker, mental health speaker there, and we'll be there in your community and being able to share the knowledge and wealth. So what does that mean, Dad, for up to
Yeah.
it?
So on this end, then with the Up to It podcast, we're focusing definitely on adult parenting education. And so definitely still be talking about youth because when you talk about parents, they got kids. And so there's kids, our youth, and just sharing a lot from that perspective. And I mean, it's things that we've talked about also before, things to consider, what are want to know about some of your all's thoughts on different ideas, things that you've done, not done, things that I've done in working with youth over 20 plus years now, and parenting from the standpoint of also looking at mental health, right? And helping your young people to be leaders and using them as resources, and just all the good things around just parenting. And so again, you'll still have that perspective though of a father son
Mm-hmm.
and how we work through some of those things and what are some of the things that we're learning now, not only Zion becoming a father, but what are some of the things that were challenging, inspirational, so all still the same things, but just more heavily on the adult side.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that and what that means. Bless you. Bless you. A sneeze
Ooh,
on
thank
Cam.
you.
Crazy.
Thank you.
We're excited to embark on that journey, and we've been doing it. And since we've been doing it, we've noticed this trend just nationally and in our community about parent engagement. And me and my dad were talking yesterday when we got on. We were talking about what we got to talk about. We got to bring the podcast topic up. How do we bring it up in a way that is tasteful and not demeaning and calling y'all out? Because that's not the case, right? That's not what this podcast is about. It's about building up, but also calling y'all in when we need when we need to tighten up on some things. And the topic that we're talking about, if you're ready, you read the title, it's talking about re-engaging parents post COVID, right? Like, how do we re-engage parents? And what sparked the conversation was the trend that every community event that we've been invited to speak at or talk to, it's only maybe one or two parents that show up. And unfortunately, it tends to be the students' parents that don't really need the information.
Right. No, it's so true.
And
Yeah, it's very interesting, because a lot of the schools and communities um believe and want parents to show up to these engagements because they hear from parents that they want these topics and things of interest, but then the parents don't show up. And it is true. A lot of the parents that do show up are the ones that may not necessarily need the information, but want the information. And but they help with the a spirited conversation. They add unto the conversation, and that's great. But just yeah, just really noticing that we've lost parent engagement, and I know, and I, I know partly, people's lives are busy,
Right.
but I'll be honest with you all. What's interesting is I began to see a decline in parent participation pre-COVID.
True.
um, I used to run evidence-based program called Strengthening Families program, and around 2014, 13, 14, um, parents attending a 8-week, 11-week, 15-week program, parents started to fall off a little bit, and not want to be able to or didn't want to engage in that. But years prior to that, parents were showing up and understanding. And I don't know if that has to do with maybe they're going more to the internet, social media, and feeling that they're getting their information there. But as we know, with some of those platforms, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and really not, um, you know, coming maybe probably from reputable sources.
Mm,
And so, attending your young person's school. And here's the other thing: is not parents show up, especially in elementary school,
mhm.
when there's mariachi or it's a school play or it's the choir. And what you begin to notice is as they get older, parents begin to not show up as much in junior high, middle school, high school. I think parents are like, I'm done. I got it. But the interesting thing is that's when parents need to engage more,
Right, right.
because there's so much information and your youth is getting a lot of information, and you all should be knowing the information that they're getting and what the truth is, or the misinformation that might be out there. And so attending some of these events, it can be beneficial
100%.
to you all. And because like with Z, I don't know if you can speak on it, but I started. I mean, I always was in Z's life, and always talking with him as he was growing up. But I realized and recognized that I needed to lean in more as he got older. And so that's when we started having deeper conversations, because he's also older
Mhm.
and can talk more and express his feelings more. And so it was really really cool. So and he was willing to open up with me, because I think the relationship that we had established prior to that, as when he was younger. So
Right.
but yeah, so you want to speak a little bit to that,
Yeah,
or
I do because I want to go back, way back when you first started out with, not first started out, but actually like when you ran family groups. And I remember my favorite days were when dad had to work late and I had to go with him. And the reason why it was so much fun was because there was bomb catering, yo. Like I'm not kidding you. It was what, beef, rice, tortillas, nacho. Man, they put on a feast for these families, and families would come. And this is in, if you're in Tucson, Arizona, the Santa Rosa area, right? That's what, I forgot the cross streets on there,
10th or
36th and
22nd?
10th and 22nd, right? And man, people would, there'd be a lot of people in this small conference room that they had in Kodak, and it would be packed. And the kids, they dropped their kids off, and we were all playing together, coloring, talking, and doing some educational components as well. But then, to go from that, now into this like tumbleweed of like, you walk in and it's just like crickets and the tumbleweed just rolling by, and it's like, dang, like where is the community? Where is that? And I guess when I think about it even more, what comes to mind is how important it is to build community within schools. And another thing I notice is a lot of parents are quick to go to a board meeting when they don't like something that's
We don't
being
like
done. and they'll show up and they'll protest and they'll talk the governing board's ear off, and then the board will get to the school and the principal and be like, all right, well, we need to bring this programming and we need to help these parents and these students. But then, like my dad said, these are things you ask for, and that somebody, a coordinator, a school rep, is putting time and effort in to get you to attend, and we're just not showing up. And I guess we don't have the answer yet. I think I have we have an hypothesis on how we can make this fun and engaging for y'all to want to be in this and like include you. And not saying this because it's our business model, but genuinely, we need to get connected. But we want to know from you, what stops you from going to some of these events or some of these presentations that your school put on,
And
right?
workshops, yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, and the way that you can let us know is that you can text us at 904-867-4466, or you can email me personally, man, at Zion at uptoit.club, or leave us a comment down below. Tell us why do you think, or why don't you show up to some of these events and some of these workshops or presentations? And that I want you to talk about, what are some hurdles and barriers, you as a parent, you as a facilitator, what are some hurdles and barriers that you've seen?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, what I hear is time. A lot of times what I hear is time. How do I squeeze this in? But, what's interesting is, again, when I've attended sports events, I see parents find time for that, but the things that they can maybe get a couple of little bit more skills on or information, they don't show up for those. um Football games, everybody gets them to practice, but then parents sometimes wonder, well, what's going on with my kid? How come this isn't happening, or that's not happening, or why are they involved in experimenting with substances, or why are they down, why are they not eating properly or getting enough sleep, or you know and these workshops and presentations that people who are trained in that field, because it could be experts, if you will, from that schools are bringing in from your nearby university.
Right.
um, it could be somebody from your nearby behavioral health organization or
Mhm.
treatment facility, or um, just people that have a lot of experience and they want to share it and help. And so I think time is what
I
I've,
love
I've
that.
heard.
That's a big one.
Two, sometimes is, if you have younger if you have younger kids, it's childcare.
Hmm.
Who's going to watch the other little one while I'm in here, because it's hard for me to pay attention when I have to deal with another younger one.
Hmm.
I think the other time, sometimes I've heard in particular communities, transportation. How do I get
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Like, and also the other thing is, a lot of times these presentations can be during dinner time.
Mhm.
And so people are like, well, how am I going to feed my kids? I can't wait, for them to eat until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at
Right.
night, because then they got homework and then they got to get to bed. So I think those are transportation, I think childcare, I think time, or
Yeah.
some of the three of the things that I've heard. But a lot of schools and or CBOs, community-based organizations,
Mhm.
and people that are putting these on, try to mitigate those by um, you know reducing the time of the workshop itself, or having
Absolutely.
childcare, or offering transportation. And so it uh, there are things that groups are doing to try to help with that. But I'm also just wondering, I guess, Z, you
Mhm.
know, and I want to hear from our audience out there. Uh, I mean, just mentally, what is it? Is it too hard to deal with, or don't want to hear the information, or again, are you all just going to social media? I know we got AI now, but there's also something like, Z, you were saying, man, earlier, about post COVID.
Mhm.
I think adults need to remember too that we also need that social connection.
Big time.
And one of the things that I've learned through my career when, everybody was more willing to come together and learn, or be in spaces together. One of the beautiful things that I saw was how people did learn together.
Yeah.
It also helped them understand that they were not alone,
Mhm.
meaning not only from the presenter themselves, but from the others. They're like, man, you know what? I'm dealing with the same thing too. So
Right.
how did you deal with that? Because sometimes, again, I feel like our community is getting uh, disconnected, and parents aren't talking as much. And I know, uh, I think they call it the fourth space or fifth space,
Third space
um,
or the
where people are trying, communities are trying to build spaces where people would hang out more.
right, right, yeah, third spaces, yeah, yeah.
Third space, excuse me. And where they have playgrounds and they have benches, and you walk, and then maybe you'll talk to some people and things of that nature. So I think that's really cool. Uh, but I think parents remembering that you're not alone,
So good,
um, and
so good.
coming together. There's things that we can learn from one another that you're not possibly going to see on the social media platforms.
Yeah, that's so real, and I think the other thing I wanted to add to that too is, as presenters, sometimes we have to look ourselves in the mirror too, right? I think
That's true.
sometimes education can be boring,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Well, I'm just gonna sit here for an hour and listen and take notes, or and not engage, right? And not be engaging."
True.
Maybe it's and this is me speculating. Now, we definitely want to hear from you in the comment section. Will you agree that sometimes learning can be boring? And what I'm thinking in my head, and what we've done a great job at Vive 18 and up to it, has been making prevention fun, right? Whether that's mental health, whether that's substance use prevention, is making it fun for the youth. But for me, man, I go to a whole bunch of conferences and I'm sitting here and I'm like, dang, like, this kind of a snooze fest. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'd
Right,
rather
right,
be
right.
out here connecting with everybody else in the lobby, or talking about some spirited ideas that people are doing across the country, and get reinvigorated with some ideas and momentum. And maybe again, that adding to that point of connectedness, maybe that's what you need. And I think social media has done a good job of letting us pick and choose what groups we want to be a part of. But when you're in a school and you're in your community, you chose to be part of that community, and we have to show up and we have to talk about, because what, like my dad said, what somebody's going through in one household, somebody else might be going through in the same in a different household, but the same idea, the same thing. And need some ideas on how to handle that and how can they support each other. And parenting, I mean, I'm new to parenting, but I know that's when we go out and talk in conversation with people, is that it can feel isolating. It could feel
Mhm.
lonely. And I think we unintentionally but intentionally have done that to ourselves by being so caught up and feeling like we're connected through these iPhones and through these
Right.
these phones. But it's nothing like going and meeting and breaking bread with people, especially now in the state of our politics in the world, where it feels like everybody's divided. And sometimes you don't need to have a conversation about politics. Sometimes you just have to have a parenting conversation, and you figure out
Right.
that you're more aligned than you thought you were. Depending on, doesn't even matter what political affiliation you're part of. You
Right.
find out that you have a lot more similarities than you do differences in those rooms together.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I agree. I think that, developmentally, when we talk about adolescence, and the different stages, that adolescence development doesn't care about your political affiliation, doesn't care about your religious beliefs, it doesn't care about, it's going to happen. And
Mhm.
so our youth are going through those things together. um, at their developmental stages, from kindergarten, first grade, fifth grade, eighth grade, 12th grade. Um, and I think there's something to be said. And some, don't get me wrong, I believe that some parents find their and make their communities.
Right.
But I think there's a lot that have it difficult, having difficulty, because you can see it in schools, because they're saying, where are the parents at? And the youth are having a difficult time, and the youth want you to show up.
They
Your
do.
kid wants you to show up so you can better understand them and what's going on. And it's not always about the negative stuff. It can
Mhm.
also be about the positive things and how to support those positive things that they're doing. I mean, I think about, unfortunately, the way a lot of parents are, acting when it does come to sports and being a spectator. And Z, I know you you went through it when you did a spell being a referee for basketball.
An official.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excuse me, official for basketball. He's like, it was, come on, I was legit.
Right.
I
Refereeing
ain't
is
got no
like a
certification.
side gig. I was officiating.
And he was doing his thing, man. And then the hardest part, I think, I remember you telling me after the games, man, you was wore out because it was the parents,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And go for it, man.
No, I was about to say no. That's a whole nother podcast too that we can talk
Right,
about
right. We can talk about that
that
later.
journey in sport parents for sure.
Right, right. But just things that we're all that we're all going through as parents, and just the different transitions. And again, just curious to know from you all, what is it? What's changed? What has made this come about? And just to be transparent, the reason we want to know is so that maybe we can fill that gap.
Right.
We can find a way to help parents. Maybe it's in a different way. Maybe it's more, finding a way for parents to come out, or us
Mhm.
going to them. But we want your help because we have listeners from across the nation, um, and some even overseas.
Yeah.
So some people overseas. So share with us, because we want to be we want to be make,
Of service.
yeah, a service. We want to be a service. We want to make sure that we're adding some value to folks, and not just preaching at. But if you can help us, we can then help you and help those across the nation. Um, and would really appreciate that. That'd be so cool. Just to get like 20, 30, like 100 like responses. That'd be dope.
I like what you said. You said see if you remember how you said it, but you said not only to help us, but help you and help those.
Yes,
Because that's the community brain that we have. Like it's bigger than us, and we know that because it has to be you and those. That's who we're trying to help. We want to help and those and yourself. So I love it, man. This is great. If you want to reach out to us, and you can leave a comment below. This is probably we're gonna Dad. You know what? We're gonna have a business meeting right now, but I think I'm gonna blast this out with an ad and get it out there so we can get as much responses as we actually can.
that's cool.
But if you don't want to leave a comment and you want to leave yourself anonymous, you can always text us at 904
Yeah,
867 4466. And you can give us your text message thoughts. And you can give us a long winded answer. You can give us a short answer, whatever it is for you. We want to help you out. We want to help those out. We also want to help bigger and broader communities out there across the US and across the nation, man, across the internationally. So if this pulls on your heartstrings a little bit, and you're like, oh, I've been waiting to have this conversation with somebody, let us know, because we'll be here, open ears, and hopefully a lot of brain turning moments so that we can come out to your community and bring those people along with us.
So yeah, definitely. And also, again, if you want some some parenting education, there's some things that we'll be blasting out on our channel, so that you can take a look at some of those topics and things of interest. And if there's some topics that maybe you don't see there, or that you're interested in learning a little bit more about, we're interested in hearing that also, because again, we want to meet people where they are, and offer some opportunities to be able to help people learn, grow, and be their best selves also.
And listen, if we're not the subject matter expert, we got a lot of friends,
Ooh, we
man.
got
We got
friends.
we got friends that know a lot about a lot of things when it comes to parenting. So
We
we're more
got
than happy to fix.
friends in high places. Not low. We ain't there in
No,
high
yeah, yeah,
places.
they sure are, man. So listen, go ahead, give us a comment. Go ahead, DM us. Go ahead, text us at 904 867 4466, and we'll be more than happy to talk more about what this looks like and how you can be part of building out something, because there's nothing like being a part of the community that's helping others And with that being said, Pop, you can follow us on Instagram at up to it AZ. That hasn't changed. You'll just see a lot more. You see a little bit less youth interaction on there, or more of adult interactions on there, meaning more adult faces, not a lot of youth facing content, more adult facing content. And when we say adult facing content, I'm talking about positive adult content.
Right.
Somebody's gonna be over here talking about adult content. What? It's OnlyFans? No.
Nope.
Wrong channel. With that being said, man, we're gonna get up out of here. We hope y'all have a great rest of your day.
Yes.
And we will see y'all on the next episode.
All right. Thank y'all. Peace.